7:30, Thursday evening. Imagine if it was also the start of your weekend. Well, a 4-day work week is a reality for some. Studies in a number of countries are showing that people on a 4-day work week are more productive than those who work full 5 days. South Africa this month began its own study. More on that in just a moment. But first, let's get details of a study recently completed in the United Kingdom. I'm joined by our London correspondent, Olly Barratt. Hello, Olly. Great to chat to you. Talk to us about this 4-day work week study in the United Kingdom. How many companies and people took part? Were there specific companies that it was suited to?
Well, Sally, I've just noticed, actually, it's 5:30 on a Thursday, so I'm going to have to go.
OK,
it's
bye.
the weekend. But I'll stay with you for a few minutes longer to answer your questions. And this was 2,900 employees across several dozen companies that took part in this trial over a 6-month period. They were mostly small-ish companies rather than huge ones, therefore. But the statistics are pretty positive, certainly according to the trial organisers. Surveys were taken before and after. 39% of people involved said that they were less stressed after the trial. 40% said they were sleeping better. 54% said it was easier to balance work and home responsibilities. Crucially, sick days taken by the staff in these companies fell by around 2/3 compared to a normal period. 57% fewer staff left the firms taking part, so they were also reporting better retention of staff compared with the same period a year earlier. Also crucially, the vast majority of the companies that took part said that they were satisfied with productivity and also with business performance over that trial period. And again, another crucial statistic, 61 companies started and finished this trial. 56 out of those 61 extended this 4-day week after the trial period because they thought it was looking positive. 18 of those companies have actually made it permanent policy to stick with that 4-day week. And the basis on which these companies undertook this trial was that staff would basically work 32 hours a week over 4 days, and they would have 3-day weekends. Now, some of them arranged it in slightly different ways. Some people had Friday off, some people had Monday off, some people did tweak the way they did it a little bit, but that was basically the ethos of the trial. And as I say, certainly the organisers are suggesting that the results were pretty clear.
And tell me, is it for the same pay? No reduction in pay?
Exactly right. No reduction in pay. You do fewer hours over that 4-day period. And that is what the organisers of the trial say is so clear, is that you don't see a reduction in productivity from the staff who are working those reduced hours, and they have that longer weekend to enjoy. Now, as I say, there are other ways of doing this. For example, here in the UK, the huge supermarket chain Sainsbury's has just announced that it will start allowing its staff to work 4 days a week rather than 5 if they want to, but they're going to do it in a different way. They say, well, you will squeeze all of your 40 hours a week into your 4 days, but as a result, you'll therefore get those longer 3-day weekends or a day off during the week. So that's just a sign, I think, that not all companies are looking at this particular trial and saying, yeah, we want to do it that way. But there are quite a lot of big companies now, particularly here in the UK, just looking at different ways of doing things.
You know, in our profit-driven corporate world, it might be tempting for some bosses to either cut salaries for 4-day working week or to say, well, clearly people weren't working hard enough in the first place. Has there been any pushback?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the companies taking part in the trial did report problems. They reported difficulties, and some of them reported things like going to trade fairs or having huge projects that really needed all staff on deck for 5 days during a particular week. And if they were committed to the trial and committed to these working arrangements, they found that really difficult to pull off. We've also had a number of companies in the trial with executives at the firms, the higher paid staff, saying that they found that actually they were having to continue to work 5 days a week sometimes to allow the other members of staff to stick to their 32 hours, their 4 days a week, and retain those long weekends. But actually, even in those circumstances, some of the bosses said, I don't mind maybe putting in a few hours on a Friday so that the rest of my staff can be off if it. So, yes, the trial seems to have been positive, certainly according to those people who organised it. That doesn't necessarily mean that the view of the 4-day week is uniformly positive. One of the other things just worth saying is that the organisers of this trial put on workshops for the companies involved to sort of help them work out best working practices and how best to manage some of the difficulties that they might find. So it's certainly not without its challenges, even for those companies that seem to have found it beneficial so far.
Yeah, but I mean, as you say, signs that it's increasing productivity and bettering the quality of life for staff. Definitely an important study. Thank you so much, Olly Barratt in London. Well, let's